Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Quadar of GMS Gulf Coast, and I'd like to start by giving infinite honor and praise to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors are given up to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, men who have labored and suffered in this truth for over 30 plus years, Slakia, making their lives and their bodies a living sacrifice. I also like to send a shalom to the bishops and the elders of Great Millstone, as well as the heads of camps of Great Millstone, men in position and Great Millstone by and large. I like to send a shalom also to any of you Akim not named GMS, but walking one body, one spirit in Yahweh Shai, preaching and teaching the 100% truth with all true faith and sincerity, as well as calling on the names Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and last but not least, the shalom goes to the hopeful elect, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four winds of planet Earth, north, south, east, and west, which consist of men, women, and children in that order. Hey, to you all, shalom. Lord willing, this be edifying. Just a quick, this shouldn't be long, Lord willing. It shouldn't be long. I was listening to the brother's video, try not to take people's personality personal. And just in the spirit, it's just another spiritual talk, for lack of better words. Just thinking about that, and just speaking from a personal experience, a firsthand experience dealing with different personalities, as we all have, you know what I'm saying? It's not unique to me, but as we all have, dealing with the different personalities and whatnot. And I was questioning myself, do I take people's personalities personal? And the brother had spoke, and he had said he went into passive aggressive. Now, I've heard that terminology spoken many a times, but I personally didn't know exactly what that meant. I've even heard, a lot of the times I heard it, on TV, journalists, someone's giving an interview, things of that nature there. But as the elder apostles and the elders have pushed us to actually go into the words, meaning the words, so that you don't just be out there winging it, as the brother Crotters, I like to say, Kentucky winding. I know I chopped it up anyway. So I wanted to look this word up. So let's delve into this, because you can think, okay, I don't, I personally don't take the personalities of any individual personal. Me personally, to my, having, like I say, from my own perspective, my own firsthand experience dealing with, and like I say, this is not unique to me. Every one of us have dealt with these, because if you're living, you have to deal with the different ways people express themselves and how they carry themselves. So like I said, again, it's not unique to me, but I'm speaking from my perspective. And I tend not to, and I'm speaking for myself, I tend not to take anything personal. Not to say that I haven't always felt that way, but as you get older, you tend to less and less and less until it becomes not a thing, not to take anything personal. You understand? That's a hard thing to actually to practice, but it is doable. Anyway, let's read this. And I was reading this. Let me see. Let me go back. Let me go back one. As you can see, I pulled up the definition of passive aggressive, and it reads. It says passive aggressive. It says passive aggressive behavior is a pattern of indirectly expressing negative feelings. That word indirectly, see what I'm saying? Instead of openly addressing them. There is a direct connection between what a person who exhibits passive aggressive behavior says and what he or she does. There's a direct connection of a person who shows a pattern of an indirectly expressing negative feelings instead of openly addressing them. And that may be the case with some of the brothers. You just never know, you just never know. And that may be the case. I'm speaking from my own experience of dealing with brothers in this truth, as well as, coming out of the world and taking somewhat of a mentality, how you handle things with you, because some of the things that you've grown accustomed to in the world, as far as how to deal with different problems or even situations, circumstances dealing with people, could be profitable. Understand me? If you're spiritually minded and you're mature enough, it could be profitable to adopt some of those things, not the worldly ways, but just of how to handle different circumstances. And first and foremost, everything be backed by the scriptures. You know what I'm talking about? Because that is the instructions in which we are to follow. You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, passive aggressive again is a behavior, a pattern of indirectly expressing negative feelings instead of openly addressing them. Now, I want to check this out. It says right here, passive aggressive behavior. What are the red flags? And as you see, it says Mayo Clinic. So we're gonna tap onto that. Let's go in there real quick. Mayo Clinic. It says adult health, healthy lifestyle, adult health sections. What is passive aggressive behavior? What are some of the signs? Answer from Daniel K. Hall, Flavin, MD. And it reads again, that's the definition again. Passive aggressive behavior is a pattern of indirectly expressing negative feelings instead of openly addressing them. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, for example, it says someone who engages in passive aggressive behavior might appear to agree even enthusiastically, even showing enthusiasm, to my, yeah, with another's person's request rather than complying with the request. However, he or she might express anger or resentment by failing to follow through or missing deadlines. Let's read that again. As an example of someone who carried his or herself in this manner. Someone who engages in passive aggressive behavior might appear to agree, perhaps even enthusiastically, with another person's request rather than complying with the request. However, he or she might express anger or resentment by failing. In other words, this is an intentional deal. You know what I'm talking about? It's an intentional. And I'm saying this to say this, because, we might run across brothers that are always failing to do what is required of them. You follow what I'm saying? And it has become a pattern, has become a pattern. That is an example of someone with a passive aggressive behavior. Enthusiastically, agreeing this, that, and the third. But then when it comes down to the bottom line, they, out of 10 times, they don't come through 7, 8, 9, just more than half the time they don't follow through with it. That's a sign of this passive aggressive behavior. A red flag. A red flag. And why do they do that? He or she might express anger or resentment by failing to follow through or missing deadlines. Now I want to read another right here. It says take personality test. Check this out. It says specific signs of passive aggressive behavior includes resentment or opposition to the demands of others, especially the demands of people and on positions of authority. And I wanted to just dwell on that. I just wanted to dwell on that just for a second because it's my very brief stint, young. I ain't gonna say brief. It's like it. Wrong choice of words. My very young stint in this truth. You understand? I've seen my share of quote unquote brothers falling out of this, man, falling out of the truth. Falling into despair, falling after their own lust, whether it be pride or, can't be told anything which would fall under pride, to my, not looking inward to address things that multiple brothers have addressed, have come to. to the conclusion of a specific brother and how he's carrying himself, his behavior and whatnot, and that specific brother cannot make the necessary changes. You understand? Resentment. This is a sign. This includes, to my specific signs. Resentment of opposition to the demands of others. Then you can't take the blame yourself. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, it's been said before, sometimes you got to take the low road. Even if you're right, you just got to go with the punches. You know what I'm talking about? Because a lot of times in this world, you had to go with the punches, and a lot of times you may have been right. So, that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be any type of resentment or passive aggressive behavior amongst the brothers in this truth when you have expressed going along with something, or going along with the orders of others in the world, just for the sake of keeping a job, or just for the sake of keeping a position, or just for the sake of whatever the sake you did it for, but you did it nevertheless. So coming into this truth, there is rank and file, and that is a very poor time to show passive aggressive behavior when you come into this truth. You're not to consider this truth or the brothers that have been called to do this work as flunkies. You understand? This is not what that is. We're to treat each other with respect, and if there's a problem, then you address that openly. You address that openly, because there's a scripture where it says, and in fact I'm gonna grab it. Open rebuke is better than secret love. And that may not always be the case, and that may not that may not always be the case as far as openly rebuking someone is the remedy that needs to be applied at that time. Because every circumstance, every engagement may not call for that. You may be able to pull a brother aside and get something squared away. But I'm gonna pull that real quick. Let me see Proverbs 27, real quick. Proverbs 27. Proverbs chapter 27. It's like this is Proverbs chapter 27 and verse I'm going to start at verse 4, and it reads, Proverbs 27 and 4, and it says, wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous. But who is able to stand before envy? Like this script, it says resentment and opposition to the demand of others, especially the demands of people in position of authority. Who knows what goes through these brothers' mind when they can't take correction, when they display our passive aggressive behavior? Who knows? That's why these things are to be sat down and talked about, combed through, get to the bottom of, as they say in the world. But anyway, back to the scriptures. Proverbs 27 and 4, wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous, but who is able to stand before envy? Verse 5, open rebuke is better than secret love. See that? Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. See? Because it says, when we went back, matter of fact, let's go back to it where it says, because they may agree with you even enthusiastically. You feel what I'm saying? Let me go back. Let's see. Where was I? Okay, Mayo Clinic. Okay, here we go. Check this out. It says open rebuke is better than secret love. Now, it is right here. Now, let's read this real quick. For example, someone who engages in passive-aggressive behavior might appear to agree, perhaps even enthusiastically. You see what I'm saying? Back in Proverbs 27:6, faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. but you're being deceitful. If you got a problem with a brother, bring it out. We're coming into the time of Passover, man. You know, you can't be harboring no secret envy or secretly got a problem with a brother. That's, you know what I'm saying? This solemn assembly calls that you do away with all of that. And as the brother was going into in this video, you know, holding the personalities of a person against them, having, you know, taking that personal. First and foremost, you know what I'm saying, with men. Now, I'm not going to be the one to sit here and tell someone what to take personal and what not to take personal. That's between you and the Most High. But as a man, you know, in this truth, Lord willing, you know, taking things personal is never a good thing. You know what I'm talking about? It shows the signs of, like I said, a passive aggressive behavior and feminine behavior. Because when you get into the word of feminine, it says to take on the attributes or the feeling of a woman. And women are very emotional and they take things personal. So men are not to be that way, you know. And if you are, you work on these things, you pray, and you know, you ask the Lord for help for these type of flaws. Because eventually it's going to play out. You know, when 3-4 brothers, a couple of brothers come to you about the same ordeal or the same issue about your character, about whatever it is you're doing, and you can't receive it, it's always someone else's fault. You can never look inward and take responsibility. Man, you know what? You might have a point. This is like the third brother that came to me with the same, you know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's simple as just thinking about what's being said to you instead of just automatically arguing the point. Because that's and you know, there's no slight at women, but it is what women do. They automatically, you know, argue the point without giving it any thought. You know, just their first thing is to go on defensive mode. That's a sign of a passive aggressive person, man, or, you know, a woman, an effeminate man. And these things are not healthy in the truth. Let's just call it what it is. Proverbs 27 and 5, open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. It says the full soul loatheth and honeycombs, but the hungry soul ever bitter things is sweet. Yeah, always, you know, conjuring up or thinking some negativity. I'm going to tell you something about that type of behavior. If you can't be open and honest with yourself, then that's going to be a mirror effect for the world to see. And you're going to become so accustomed to it that you don't even know you're displaying it. But you're putting it on display for the whole world to see. Anyway, I just wanted to touch on that. It was more or less just a talk. Like I say, we're coming into this, we're coming into the Passover. So, you know, if any of you brothers may hear or see this video, any of you Aquathian, you sisters may see this video, and Salak, if I didn't pronounce my Hebrew correctly, take heed. You know, take heed to oneself. Look inward. There's always room for change. Lord willing, was edifying, and I like to end it off by giving infinite honor and praise to the Most High, Yahweh, in His only begotten Son's name, Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone, and with that, Shalom.